All right, welcome everybody to another Fluency Friday Masterclass. This is a special masterclass that I love doing with people that may have not heard of me before. Maybe you saw me on an ad, maybe you have come across my page in social media, or you're part of my community, my fluency community that we have here online. We do have a fluency community. I don't know if you have access. Yeah, you guys found me on the IG. I love that. If you have access to Facebook, I am on Facebook, close to 7,000 amigos in there, learning Spanish together, which I love. So you're more than welcome to join our Speak Spanish Easy community. Go ahead and request to be added to that group, and I will approve you because I know you are part of this masterclass. So that's going to be inside of there, and you can get this recording if you would like to practice your Spanish inside of that community of what we're doing today. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Fluency Friday. How are you guys excited? It's Friday. Yes. See, qué bueno. I see all of the, yes, all of the emojis, all the things. All right, we're live. Okay, so we're inside of there. We're good to go. And lots of you guys have, like I said, if you're just now joining us, go ahead and mute yourself at this time. And then what we'll do is we'll give you an opportunity to connect with us later to practice your Espanol. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. All right, let's see who else is in the room. If you are just now joining me, you're on live or you're in Zoom, I want to welcome you. So I see area code 407. I see you. Andrea, I see you. Ashley, ya te veo. Okay, I see you. Gloria's with us. iPhone. I would love to know what iPhone is. Tell me your name. Okay. The name of the, that's a great question, Julia. The name of the Facebook group, I'll put it inside the chat, is Speak Spanish Easy Community. Speak Spanish Easy Community. Go ahead and request to be added and then answer the 3 questions and you will be good to go. Okay. We'd love to have you in there. I give you guys every week, I give you guys some challenges. You can put your weekly wins in there. It's always helpful to be connected. Okay. Perfecto. Perfecto. All right. So let's go ahead, get started so that every single one of you guys can get the ball rolling with where you're at in our Fluency Friday. I want to also mention to you guys that I am just finishing up a school year with my son, and it's been crazy around here trying to figure this thing all out of balancing life, right, and business, all the things. So I am so happy that school is done, but I also know that I still have a business to run. And so here we are with where we're at with our masterclass today. And I really want to give you guys an opportunity to be able to come into my world. So let's go ahead and let's officially get started here. I want to tell you that this particular masterclass is special because you are here. Every single one of you guys have had the desire, right, to speak Spanish, but not just speak it in a way that's haphazardly, but on purpose. And so today we're going to talk about Spanish confidence over perfection. And what I love about this is it gives you an opportunity to know that you are in good hands with Speak Spanish Easy. I want to be able to give you guys this chance so that you can finally say, I've gotten all the options out there. I've tried language app. Is that you? Put in the comments if you tried language apps and you're still not fluent. Let me know. Is that you? You've done high school Spanish. You thought that was going to get you fluent, right? Go ahead and put in the chat. Yep, I did my high school Spanish. I got as much as I could from there, right? I see them. I see the comments coming in. Yes, you have maybe tried Rosetta Stone. Tia Rosetta. You thought Tia Rosetta was going to get you there. You're like, yes, Tia, let's go with green apple. Teach me that. And then came around to different people online, right? Different tutors that were online that you can have around the country. And they started teaching you what? Grammar rules, verb conjugations, all the things. If you've hired a tutor out, right? Thinking that, oh, if I just get a tutor, someone who's native speaker in their country can teach me Spanish, I'm going to get fluent. Okay. These are all different ways that has been presented to you for speaking Spanish. However, it's been focused more on studying the language and dissecting it as if it's like a science project instead of an actual social skill. Would you agree? Put in the chat right now. If you've had to figure out grammar rules, verb conjugations, what's the difference between saber y conocer, right? What's the difference between ser and estar? Have you heard that on YouTube? Binge watching videos on YouTube, right? Where these are the things that you're focusing on and saying to yourself, if I just know enough, if I just know a lot of Spanish, then I'll finally get confident to speak it, right? And so I'm going to tell you right now that you're not the problem. Okay, Andrea, Lester, you're not the problem. It's what's been presented to you that has been the problem. So let's talk about this, okay? Because I have to first get into your mind. I want you to shift your mindset as you come into this. We're not about to learn verb conjugations, okay? We're not going to learn grammar rules. That's not what this is all about. Right now, you are a grown adult, okay? You have a life, you have family, you have jobs, right? And so you don't have time for all that. You don't have time to dissect this language. What you need is to be able to use this language as a tool to finally speak. So before we even learn phrases today, because that's what I do, is I teach people phrases in Spanish, we need to shift how you think about Spanish in conversation. So speaking Spanish isn't about being perfect, right? It's about making people feel seen, feel heard, and feel helped. What would it be like if you were to go to a foreign country and not know the language, right? And then all of a sudden somebody speaks your language, English, but you're in a whole different country, but you hear English spoken from somebody right next to you that's bilingual. That means they speak the Spanish, the French or the Italian or the Portuguese, right? And then that person that learned that native tongue of their country goes to you and they say something in English. How would that make you feel, Teresa? To know that somebody is speaking your language. Well, that's what it feels like on the other side when you have conversations with those. You know, Nelson Mandela said it perfectly. He said, speak to a man in a language he knows, then you're going to speak to his brain here, his mind, okay? But speak to him in his native tongue, then you're speaking to his heart. Put in the comment section right now if you have desire to have heart conversations with people, love connections with them, right? To show them that they are being seen, that they're being heard, and that they're being helped, right? Because Spanish is people first Spanish, right? It's not for us to have accolades for ourselves to say, mira, estoy hablando español con fluidez en este momento, right? It's not for us to get all of the accolades to say, hey, I'm fluent, look at me. It's not about us, but it's about us speaking to others so that we can connect to them first, to speak simply, right? And to show that you care. Is this making sense to you? Is your mind being blown right now? Put in the chat right now. If that's you, if you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't think about that, right? I didn't think that Spanish was a tool that could be used for someone like me, right? Maybe you've had this passion for years and you know a few words, a few phrases, but you still haven't been able to connect the way you want. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why most people never become fluent. Okay. It's not the lack of desire. Okay. Has nothing to do with that. And can I tell you, it's not you. You're not the problem. It's not your fault. Does that relieve a little bit of you guys? Some of you guys that may have said to yourself, oh, I'm just too old. Oh, I'm not good at languages, right? Or Spanish is just too hard, which goes against everything I believe, right? That's why I named my business Speak Spanish. What? Put it in the comment section. Speak Spanish.
Easy.
Right. Speak Spanish easy because Spanish is easy. If you ever look at how to learn English, it's way harder, I promise you. Even though we speak it fluently, I'm going to tell you, to learn English is very, very hard. Okay, so to learn Spanish is so easy. It's a matter of what is your why? Why are you learning it, right? So you're not the problem, but it's how you were taught. And if you can remember that in the back of your mind, that you are now being taught Spanish in a way that can give you a safe space to finally speak it. Okay. And most adults, they're taught through what? Memorization. If you had to memorize words, memorize verb conjugations. If that was you, I want to tell you that did not lead you to fluency, right? Maybe grammar overload, where you were studying through the grammar rules and you're like, wait, I got to make sure that I do this. If I don't do that, then this can't happen, right? So you're automatically thinking grammar rule overload. Or maybe you're speaking to someone and they say to you, man, I really need to speak my Spanish. And I know you speak Spanish, right? And they ask you, and you're like, I speak a little bit, right? And then you say, and they tell you, they say, okay, speak to me in Spanish if you say that you speak Spanish. So there's this pressure to perform. And that's not why we have this language. We're not trying to perform. We're just trying to make connection with people. Also, too, what really helps you understand right now where you're at is understanding the process of learning a language. Having that fear of mistakes is real. Having that ability to know that I have this emotion of fear, that fear is what stops you from being fluent. But the fear should actually drive you to make mistakes, okay? Because that's how you learn. When you make a mistake, there's people like myself. I have linguist coaches as well that are part of our community. And we help you to tell you in a loving way how to say it the correct way, right? How would you like that? How would you like to experience knowing you have a no judgment environment, right? Where you can say whatever you want to say in Spanish and know you will not be judged, right? Put in the comment section if that's you. Put C. Very good. Or there's worksheets, right? Without conversations. You're literally just going through worksheets. Back in high school days, that's what they used to do. Just give us worksheet after worksheet. Or you're learning for a test instead of real life, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. And eventually people just start believing what? I'm just not good at languages. But can I tell you the secret to my students becoming fluent in less than 90 days through my proven Lucas system is repetition, confidence, and real conversations. These are some of the ingredients. You know how you have your grandma, she makes that special stew or that special soup and it just tastes so good because she made it, right? Well, it's the same with Spanish. I make this special Spanish stew, okay? And these are the ingredients that I put in it, is I teach my students about repetition. So the phrases you're going to get today, the repetition of them is what's going to help you to breed the confidence that's going to equal real conversations. Who's ready to finally have real conversations? Yes. Well, before we get started with learning our phrases today, we first need to identify who are you, okay? And which one of this type of learner are you with Spanish? Because every single one of you guys have a separate way of how you learn a language. And this is not in regards to like how you identify, right, yourself with a visual learner, auditory learner, kinesthetic learner. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the internal you, the part of you that you need to be okay with, right? You need to not be in denial, right? That you don't have enough time to learn the language or Spanish is too hard. All of these things that pop up in your brain, I need you to realize that you fall into one of these three categories. And you're probably asking, well, how do you know this, Profesora? Well, because I'm an educator for 20 years. So I've seen these three groups of type of students come into my world and I've helped them to get fluent. So let me know in the comment section right now, if you are one of these three. If you are listening to this podcast right now, just say a mental note, 1, 2, or 3. Or if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, put in the comment section below, I want to know. All right, so number one type of Spanish learner is the silent learner, okay? The silent learner knows vocabulary in their head, right? But freezes when it's time to speak because it sounds fast, right? When the other person is speaking to you, you just freeze up, okay? That's number one. You're the silent learner. Number two, do you identify with this type of learner, the perfectionist? This one here is so close to me because when I learn other languages like Japanese, like arigato gozaimasu, right? Or konnichiwa, right? Like how I feel like I'm number two learning a new language where I overthink every single word and just waits for everything to be perfect before I actually speak it. I feel like I have to read it. I have to write it. I have to think it, all the things before it actually comes out of my mouth, right? And so do you identify like me with number two, the perfectionist? Where it has to be all perfect, the perfect weather to finally speak it? Or do you identify with number three, the forgetful learner. That means you're in a class like this with me, or you're in a class in a college, community college. You take the class, you're so excited. You're the forgetful learner because you feel motivated during class, but then you forget everything a few days later when it finally comes to the point where you have to have a real conversation. So put in the comment section right now. I want to read them and I want to see which one do you identify with, because this also helps me with helping you with your learning style. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I see multiples over here. Okay. So I see Claire. She says, I'm 2 and 3. Dos y tres. Okay. Okay. I see you with that mix. How about Ty? Says a mix of 1 and 3. Okay. And then Andrea, she says, I'm 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then Gloria as well says she's all 3. Lester says he's number 2. I love that. iPhone user says they are number 3. And then Teresa as well says a mix of all of them. Ashley's like, I'm number 2. You guys coming through? Yes, number 3. Perfect. So as you know how you learn and what type of Spanish learner is, then that just, all your defenses go down, right? And you realize you are a Spanish learner. That is your new identity. That is who you are. You are now learning Spanish. Nobody can take that away from you. And it's not good or bad, these type of learners. It's just once you identify what kind of learner you are, the better success you have with going beyond that and saying, okay, if I'm a silent learner, then I'm going to need to speak when I learn something, right? Or if I'm a perfectionist, I'm going to have to assess myself when I speak so I can self-correct, right? Or if I'm a forgetful learner, I'm going to have to repeat all the phrases I'm learning behind the scenes so that I can feel really comfortable to finally speak it when it's time to speak, because I've done the work behind the scenes. Does that make sense? So these are my type of learners, and I'm so glad that you found how you learn. And remember, we want to learn boldly, okay? We're trying to go in here being like a child. A child does not care, okay? They are not afraid to speak, right? They learn and they mess up and they speak loudly. They loud with it, okay? Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Right? Do you remember that little boy? I think he's probably like 15 now. But back in the day, it went viral because what did he do? All he heard his mom say is correction, correction, correction. And all he knew to say was, listen, Linda, right? But he spoke with confidence and boldness. And then I want you to get into the habit of listening confidently. All right. So you're probably asking, okay, well, how do you know all that you know, Profesora Kris, that you say you know? Well, here's the receipts, okay? Here's my resume. I'm Profesora Kris, the founder of Speak Spanish Easy. I was featured on Telemundo as one of the top Afro-Latinas in the nation right now, teaching Spanish to adults in the most easiest possible way. And I take pride in that because of my story and how I got there. I want to tell you that I come from a place where it's not common, right? The type of teacher that I am. My dad is from Honduras, Central America, and my mom, she's passed on, but she was an ultrasound tech in East Los Angeles for 18 years. And 98% of her patients were Spanish speaking. Do I have anybody in the healthcare industry right now? If you're in the healthcare industry, put in a comment below. I want to know you because it's really near and dear to my heart to make sure that patients feel heard, feel seen, feel valued by you being bilingual like my mom was. And when I saw this African-American woman speaking Spanish to her patients, something just clicked to me. Something clicked. And I said, wow, this is impressive. I'm like, how's this Black woman speaking Spanish, right? Like, how's this happening? And then I see my Honduran immigrant father come to America, learn English, and not set foot in a classroom to learn this language. He learned in a barrio, right? He learned in the neighborhood. He learned with his friends, with his community, on his job when he worked in construction, right? So there were things and opportunities where he learned how to speak English fluently. And what happened was I learned Spanish in the home when my dad was raising me, right? So I was fluent in Spanish, and I had a crossroads that happened in high school. And that's why you're here today, is because I came to the realization that when I got into a high school Spanish class, that I was going to pass with an easy A. Do you know why I thought? It's because when I saw Spanish 1 and I registered for it in high school, I thought, yo hablo español, puedo pasar cualquier examen, right? Cuando estoy hablando español, puedo hablar con confianza, right? So I'm literally saying to myself all these things like, I speak Spanish. I know I'm going to get an easy A. I'm going to pass my test because I speak Spanish and I'm fluent, right? That was not the case. I failed my first high school Spanish test. Put in the comment section, wow, okay? Because this was my truth. And it was hard for me to share this with people, to be honest. I did not feel comfortable sharing that with native speakers that I failed a Spanish test when I was fluent in Spanish. Does that even make sense? How am I a fluent speaker in Spanish, but I'm failing a test that my school is giving me? And right in that moment, I could have shrank, you guys. I could have said, you know what? This teacher's right. I don't know Spanish. I don't know grammar rules. I don't know where the accents go. I don't know verb conjugations. And you know what? I'm not going to speak ever again. As young as I was, that was traumatic to me. And I had a moment in time where I could have just laid down and said, forget it. I don't even want to speak anymore. But you know what I did? Is I did some internal digging. And I said, this is not going to define me. This failure of this test is not going to define that I am a fluent Spanish speaker. And I may not know all the grammar rules, but I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do so I can get the grade. Okay. And I can get my bachelor's and get my master's and teach people how to speak Spanish without all of this. Okay. That's my goal. And so I was up for the challenge. So I did Spanish 1, Spanish 2, AP Spanish, Spanish 3, AP Spanish, got all the degrees, all the things so that you could be right here and go the route less taken, right? Like Robert Frost says, we're going to take that road less taken because no one's going down there, right? We've got this whole construction over here. Everybody's in the lane to get to their destination and it's traffic. I'm over here on the highway where I'm like, go this way. You'll get closer to your destination if you just save yourself 5 minutes. Have you ever seen that on the GPS where they're like, hey, you want to save 5 minutes? Go ahead, make a left and go down this highway to get to your destination. And that's what I love taking pride in is I'm glad I didn't stop there, right? Because over 700 plus students from beginners to professionals have taken the opportunity to be a part of Speak Spanish Easy Fluency movement and get the results through what I've created as the answer, which is the Lucas method. And God has a funny sense of humor that my maiden name, Lucas, would actually be the answer to every person who wants to become fluent in Spanish. And what I do is I actually specialize in confidence-based Spanish learning for busy adults. So if you are busy and you're an adult and you want to build up your confidence, you are in the right place. And so I help students to stop overthinking and finally start speaking and just be passionate in such a way that really helps people to make them feel that Spanish is simple, it's easy, it's practical, it's real life focused, and that you don't need to be perfect to finally start to speak Spanish confidently. How does that sound for you, knowing that you have an expert right in front of you, live, right now, that you can trust to get you to the fluency finish line? Put it in the comment section right now. Put C, put an emoji, put something to show me that you are excited to finally learn the right way. All right, awesome. Well, let's get started. ¿Quién quiere hablar en español? Who wants to speak in Spanish with me? Because I got these 2 phrases we're going to go over right now, today, and by the end of this class, okay, I just want to deliver to you exactly what you signed up for, which is Spanish phrases and to learn them easily, okay, so that you can finally build the confidence for your world. So phrase number 1, this is when we're greeting someone. And we usually have a simple way of saying it. We can just say mucho gusto. And you can put that in the chat right now if you want to just say nice to meet you, okay? If you meet somebody for the first time. But what I want to do right now for you is I want to teach you how to just add a little bit of spice to it, because that's what, every Latino does, okay, is we add a little spice to life. And so I want to teach you how to say this in a way that's going to wow the person listening. And it sounds like this. Me da gusto conocerte. Say it with me. Me da gusto conocerte. Muy bien. Me da gusto conocerte can be broken down into 2 parts of your phrase. You can just practice and say me da, me da, me da, me da. And the D sound is really like a TH sound that we have in English, right? So it's really soft. It's not a hard D like we have in English. So practice that with me and say, me da. Do you see my tongue? Me da. Okay.
Me da.
Very good. Me da gusto. Then you just add that word to it. Me da gusto. Me da gusto conocerte. All right, who's ready to try? Let's hear you. I want to hear accents. I want to hear your pronunciation. I want to hear the words coming out of your mouth right now. Go ahead. Who would like to unmute themselves? Let's go.
Me da gusto conocerte.
Me da gusto conocerte.
Me da gusto conocerte.
That's it. I'm hearing you guys.
Me da gusto conocerte.
Oh,
Me da gusto conocerte.
Teresa, that's it. Andrea, que bueno. Now, how did that feel? Put it in the chat right now. How did that make you feel to know that this phrase is your go-to phrase? You can say this anytime to any person that you meet for the first time. Me da gusto conocerte. And say it just like that. And they're going to be like, ¿Cómo es posible que estás hablando en español? Right? Then they're going to start speaking fast. What you're doing is you're building your resume in Spanish. You're letting them know, hey, I know a little bit. Okay. I know what I'll know. And that's where we're going, is figuring out this phrase. So me da gusto conocerte. Your accents were really good, you guys. Very good. Now, think about it. You just spoke Spanish, okay? Lots of people just study Spanish for years, but do they actually speak it? Let's go to phrase number 2 here. So that was, it's nice to meet you. This second phrase I'm going to teach you is, I feel more confident speaking Spanish. Okay, this may not be your truth if you're just now coming into Spanish learning and you're trying to fill everything out. Okay, but if you've been learning for a while and maybe you've been a part of the fluency movement, right? I want you to say this, but it's a little bit lengthy, but I want you to focus on a few things here. I want you to focus on me siento. Say it with me, me siento.
Me siento.
Yes, yeah.
Me siento, very good. Which tells me, or tells the person, I feel. Okay, me siento. Me siento is I feel. And then más is more. Okay, I feel more. And then the way that we bring this together is we say, if you identify as a male, you would say seguro. So all my males in the house, where you at? Say seguro. Seguro. Muy bien. If you are a female, I want you to say segura.
Segura.
Segura. Segura. Very good. Segura. And then hablando is speaking. Hablando español. Speaking Spanish. So this is how it sounds. Wait until after I finish this phrase so you know the rhythm of it, okay? So it sounds like this. Me siento más segura hablando español. Do you hear that? Me siento más segura hablando español. You know I'm not saying it like a robot where it's like, me siento más segura hablando español, right? I'm not sounding like a robot. I'm making it flow to where I say the first part real smooth. Then I add the second part of hablando español, okay? So me siento más segura hablando español. Who'd like to try that one? Go ahead. Unmute yourself and start speaking. Let's go. Vamos.
Me siento más seguro hablando español.
Yes, that was so good. So good. Your accent was absolutely perfect. Muy bien. All right, who else wants to try?
Me siento más segura
Hablando
hablando
español.
español.
That's
I'm
it.
sorry.
Cierto. And make sure, like Teresa smiling right now, she's saying it. That's what I want to see, okay? Come on, Candace, let me see you smile. Let's go.
Me siento más segura hablando español.
Go ahead, Candace. That was good.
Me siento más segura hablando español.
That's it. Muy bien. Now, this is she's part of our community. I love her. She's my mama in South Carolina. Okay, I'm trying to speak Spanish and English at the same time. But when I tell you phrases are the key to fluency, you guys, I'm giving you 2 phrases. They're probably like in currency. If we did like a currency exchange in American dollars, it's about $1,000 a phrase. Okay, $1,000 for each one of these phrases. That's $2,000. Okay, that you could be having in your bank right now if you understood that these phrases are currency in the fluency kingdom. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you understand the process of this, right? And so
Yeah.
about that, you may not know how to access this, right? In a way that's very like, now I know it. But the more practice you do to repeat it, like how many times, Andrea? Do I teach?
20.
Okay, 20 times. Get into the habit, just as if you were to go to the gym, right? Lester, you go to the gym. Ty, you go to the gym. Your trainer's going to tell you what? Hey, do 12 reps of this, do this, right? You don't question them. You like, you know what you're talking about. You got the muscles, right? So the same with learning a language is you need to put the reps in so you can get the results, okay? And start to become fluent with every phrase that you receive, okay? All right, let's do a review. You ready? And now I want you to do an activity that I do with my students is I want you to look at this phrase, write it in your notes, write it in the chat. If you're listening to this on the podcast, if you're driving, please don't write nothing. Okay, just keep driving. But if you are somewhere stable, go ahead and write it in your notebook because there's something about when you write it down in English and in Spanish that it now can stick with you even better. Okay, so I want you to write down phrase number 1, which is me da gusto conocerte. Then put in English, it's nice to meet you. Then you can practice that by itself. Okay, the second phrase is me siento más segura, if you identify as a female, or seguro, if you identify as a male, hablando español. Okay? All right, go ahead. Put it in there. Right now, I'm going to give you 1 minute. 1 minute. Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Ándele, ándele.
Yes.
Arriba, arriba.
You got it. Do it, do it, do it. Vamos. Aquí estamos practicando español, hablando español. Okay? Diciendo todas las cosas en español, right? We're saying all the things. And remember, you don't need to be fluent to make somebody feel seen, right? These 2 phrases alone can just transform your experience. All right. Everybody good? Put it in the chat right now. If you got your phrases, you wrote them down, you screenshot them. If you're visually seeing it, you can put it on your phone. Okay? Just put C. Muy bien. I see it popping in. Muy bien, Gloria. Gloria a Dios. Glory be to God. Yes. All right. Very good. Okay. So these are your phrases for today. Okay. So now that you have your phrases, I want you to think about, and I want you to be honest with me right now. Okay. Be honest. Did I do what I said I would do? Okay. Did I tell you what type of learner you are, right? Did we identify that you are a Spanish learner? You can say you're either 1, 2, or 3, right? Type of learner. Did I give you the blueprint of how I get my students to succeed through changing their mindset, right? And knowing that I'm the expert to get you there. Yes. Did I give you all my credentials? Give you all my degrees, right? All the things to say I'm qualified to teach you, right? And did I teach you Spanish today, right? Because that's what you signed up for. I didn't just go through a bunch of like statistics of why you should learn Spanish, right? Or I didn't go through grammar rules, right? No verb conjugations were there, but I actually taught you Spanish. So did I deliver? That's what I want to know. If I did deliver, go ahead and type C inside of the chat right now, okay? Because I want to make sure that what you signed up for, you got it. Awesome. I see all the C's popping in. Yes. Muy bien. Muy bien. All right. So I have one favor from you today. Okay. Can I take about 5 minutes to show you a way that you can keep learning Spanish with me, just like you did today? Is that okay? Put C in the chat right now if that's you. And you're like, yes, I love how you teach. You're my teacher for life, para siempre. Right? I see all the C's popping in here. Yes. Muy bien. Very good. I would love to be your teacher because as you can see, I love teaching. Okay. I love teaching Espanol. So let me show you something that I have been working on due diligently online because a lot of my students are online around the country, basically around the world. And I want to introduce you to something that has been working so seamlessly with an online community that I have so much pride in. And some of the students are right here in this live with you right now. Yes, they are right here and you'll be able to hear from them in a little bit. But I want to introduce you to my Fluency U VIP live classes and community. Now, what I love about this community is it gives you an opportunity to finally become fluent on your own terms, get the community that you desire to have that accountability. And it just is a game changer in seeing that there's other people just like you that are learning Spanish all around the world. And so I want to break it down so you understand what it is that's a part of this Fluency U VIP. And I named it Fluency U because it's part of Fluency University that I created with my school app. But I also want you to know that I want you fluent. Okay. That's the main goal, is being fluent for your world. So what do we get inside of our classes and our community? Well, the first thing we get are bi-weekly live coaching workshops with me and my linguist coaches that I. Now, this is a fast track Spanish fluency expert led live class. We actually had one last night, and Andrea and Ashley, they were part of it. And this is a $297 a month value. Okay. Now, tell me in the chat right now if that is something that you would say, wow, that would be amazing to be a part of a class, a Zoom class live with experts, with people that know how to speak Spanish and with people that don't know how to speak Spanish, but are willing to have fun in breakout rooms. If that's you, put it in the comment section right now. Just put C, like, yes, I've been looking for you. Yes, this is what I need right now. The other thing that I love is the personalized homework assignments and accountability. This is something that I have taken pride in, of giving weekly challenges to all of my Fluency members that come into our community and give them the accountability that they need. And that right there is $97 a month all by itself. Okay. Just to be able to have that opportunity to have that accountability is key to your success with fluency. If I were to give you personalized homework for you, okay, for you to do each and every week, would that be more than worth it? Yes? Put it in the comment section right now. If you're saying, man, if she just talked to me and she said, oh man, this is what Lester needs. This is what Candace needs, right? This is what I know Teresa needs, Ty needs, right? If I were to say, this is what we're doing, Rodney, this week, okay? Would that be worth it? To know that you have somebody like myself that knows your individual learning type, right? Third is the direct access. This is one of my favorite parts, okay? You're going to hear a little bit about this and how it works, but you get to have personalized time with me to ask your specific Spanish questions. I love this. Andrea's already about to say something. I know you want to talk, Andrea. Can't yet, okay? Because she is a student who has experienced this herself. So she knows that the personalized feedback during our bi-weekly sessions, right? The questions that actually get answered, that's valued at $197 a month. Just that alone, right? But she gets that opportunity to experience that, and you'll hear from her a little bit later. And then we have our private VIP community of motivated Spanish learners. And I'm going back to Andrea because she's one of them, where she will support you. Okay. She will be your mama, your Spanish mama, and encourage you and say you're doing well inside of our school community that we have, and help you on your exact journey. I love this because even as it gives you that $47 a month value, it's worth way more to know you have cheerleaders behind you saying you're doing well, right? So put in the chat right now if that is worth way more, if you were to see that. Yes? And then the last one, which I feel is priceless, okay? Because this came straight from God. I am not kidding. Literally, my Lucas method framework is nothing you will see in a school academic setting at all, okay? This is something that I trademarked, that God gave me personally, called the Lucas Method Framework, okay? And this is the phrase first fluency system that I've put together that helps each and every one of my students that come into my 90-day program, where they become fluent in 90 days because of my Lucas Method. Now that's priceless. I'm sorry, I can't put no value on that because it didn't come from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this came straight from God. So I'm just going to tell you, the anointing that's on my life to get people fluent for their world is priceless when it comes to the Lucas Method. Now, the total value of everything above is $638, but you're not going to pay anywhere near that, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, you guys have the opportunity to be part of the Fluency U community, and you can join today. Everything that we are experiencing today. But don't worry, I am going to give you so much more than that today, okay? Because each and every one of the things that I mentioned, which was that bi-weekly class, the private community access, the homework, reaching out to me personally, all the resources and stuff that I give you, as well as that accountability support and the confidence building in your Spanish, those that actually join today, the Fluency community. You become VIPs today. I am going to add a bonus, which I want to talk about too a little bit with Ashley and with Andrea about this. These limited bonuses, the first bonus is you get a one-on-one Zoom call with me and my team to create a custom fluency roadmap tailored toward your specific needs. Okay. You're going to hear from them real life. I'm going to share actually really quickly with you about Ashley. Okay. Because we just did this past week, right, Ashley? But Andrea, I know that I worked with you as well with the elevator pitch, right? That we were working on. Is that something that the students are going to love, right? With him.
See, they're going to love it because when you start with the elevator pitch, you're learning about how to introduce yourself. A lot of times when we meet people, or even you want to say, hey, how are you doing to someone else, another Spanish speaker, you can learn to say, mi nombre es Andrea, soy de Carolina del Sur, vivo en Carolina del Sur conmigo. Yo tengo 4 hijos y 5 nietas. And so as you begin to speak in Spanish, you introduce yourself and talk about your family. And each week it goes a little bit more in depth with our wishes, what we want to do, what motivates us in Spanish, to speak Spanish, the things that you want to accomplish after you become fluent. And you don't become fluent at the end. As you begin to learn to speak, you're being fluent. If it's not nothing but saying, hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está el clima hoy? ¿Dónde está? So these might be little words to start with, but they grow, they stack on top of each other. And a lot of people have motivations why they want to learn Spanish. I'm a senior and I'm retired. And I said, this is my job now, just to learn Spanish. So one thing that motivated me was my husband was in the hospital and he's from Panama and he was very, very sick. And he wasn't speaking any English. He was just speaking Spanish. And I said, I got so upset about it because I said, oh my goodness, he's sick and I don't even understand what he's saying. And I didn't want anybody to tell me what he was saying. I wanted to know what he was saying myself. So it was a few years after that, and I saw Profesora Kris on TikTok, and I said, yeah, this seems like it's so easy to learn Spanish this way. And you would think because I have a Panamanian in mi casa, yo quiero hablar español con él, pero no, because everybody learns differently. So this is an easier way for me to learn. I enjoy it. As Professor Kris said, there is accountability. We speak to each other in the community. So just come, baby steps, come on along with us.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Let's give Andrea a hand. That was amazing. Being able to see that that's a real life person. Okay. Someone right there that is learning how to speak Spanish and for her to communicate with her husband. And so who wants to join Mama Andrea right now? Because this is the opportunity for you to go to that next level with your personal investment today. Just pay $97 per month. This is what we're doing. You're getting access to that biweekly live coaching workshop, right? You're getting the personalized homework accountability. Go ahead and know that you are actually getting direct access to me for one-on-one Zoom calls on a monthly basis. 15 minutes, just taking 15 minutes of your time to actually communicate with me. And then you have that private VIP community on the school app to do your homework every single week. And then you have that priceless Lucas method framework that, okay, it is only up in heaven, okay, that came down here on earth for you to experience what true Spanish fluency looks like without verb conjugations, without grammar rules. So go ahead and hover over this QR code. If you are watching this visually, you can see the QR code. If you are listening to this, go ahead and go to my podcast and you're listening on the podcast, go to the link in my show notes because that's going to give you access to our Fluency U VIP community. For those that are here right here live, either on Facebook, on YouTube, or if you're on our Zoom, you're going to get a link right now. Okay. You're going to get a link inside of the chat. This is going to take you straight directly to the VIP world for you to get access. And those that get in right now, let me tell you, you get those bonuses I was telling you. You're going to get access to that one-on-one fluency strategy call with me. I get a chance to hear why you want to learn Spanish and how the next 3 months and 90 days, you can have a game plan of how to get there. Go ahead and put C inside of the comment section if you are ready. Those that sign up and you said, yep, I'm ready to get fluent, put the word fluent if you are completed on your journey to get into our fluency community, okay? If this made sense to you, go ahead and put in the chat as well. What are your comments on this masterclass? Because this is where the rubber meets the road. You have already spent thousands and thousands of dollars on language apps, on courses, on Rosetta Stone. And here you are, you finally have the moment to where this is your last step to fluency, okay? It's the last step. When you get to the point to where you're finally tired and you're sick and tired of trying, right? This is the moment right here. I also want to share with you a little bit about Ashley's testimony. I got a chance to meet with her this past week. She's preparing for a trip to Colombia. And in that trip, she wants to know how to go from the airport to the hotel and speaking Spanish the whole time. So I was working with her and I was giving her that opportunity to be able to know the exact phrases that she needs to speak in Spanish. And now she has a roadmap. And so that's just a real life example of what it looks like to work with my students personally, give them what they need, and then send them on their way to practice. And in the next 3 months, she'll be fluent in knowing how to communicate as she's traveling in a foreign country. All right, you guys. So I know some of you guys are like, yes, let's go. I see them popping in. I see you guys putting in the comment section. See, I see fluent. Let's go, Gloria. I see you, Andrea. Let's go. Let me tell you, this right here is going to change the game of how you approach language learning. No longer will you need to memorize grammar rules. No longer will you have to do verb conjugations. So did you see how this really is the way to finally learn a language? This is how kids learn. This is how you can learn. We're all humans doing this human experience together. So go ahead and hover over this QR code if you're looking at this visually. If you are watching, there'll be a put fluent in the comment section right now, and then you will get automatic access to a link that you will be able to get your spot for our next Fluency UVIP community, where you can get into our classes. You're going to get all the details as you get connected, okay? All right, so if you have questions, this is the time to ask, okay? These are my top questions because we've got you. We understand questions arise. So the first question that I get all the time is, do I need to know any Spanish experience to join? And I want to tell you that you don't, okay? We have beginners inside of our class, right, Andrea, that haven't had anything. They don't know how to speak Spanish. They may know one word or two phrases here and there, but you could be a complete beginner coming in. All different levels can join. Number 2, how much time do I need each week? So remember, this is bi-weekly. I am catering this towards adults. That means you're not meeting with me every single week for 3 hours a week, okay? It don't take all that time, okay? You're going to meet with me up to 60 to 90 minutes bi-weekly. That means twice a month. Plus, you get that optional practice time in between sessions with our school app. And then you're going to be able to meet with me once a month for 15 minutes. Because I understand you're busy, okay? I don't want you to overcommit to something. And then you may not have that unlimited free time that you truly want. But you still have the ability to plug in, okay? And then, what if I tried everything and nothing worked? Yes. Okay. This is for you. Okay. Because Fluency UVIP is built for the exact person that truly has tried everything. They've tried the language app. They've tried grammar heavy classes. They've tried everything, but they have not tried the Lucas method. Okay. And this is the phrase-based method that I help all of my students to finally get fluent for their world. And then the last question is, can I cancel if it's not for me? Let me tell you, it's a money back guarantee over here. All right. Yes, Fluency U VIP is a monthly membership, no long-term contracts, no commitments. Stay as long as you want until you get the results that you're looking for. And just know this is based on our students. Every single student is totally different, right? And so as you approach your language learning, I want you to know that you have the ability to take control of the way that you learn. So you are not locked in for 5-10 years with me, okay? I want you to take it 1 month at a time. Do your best. I mean, I have people like Andrea that just burns the boats, okay? She literally came in for the whole year. She's like, I'm ready to save money, okay? And I'm ready to get in there and go that route to go to that next level in my fluency journey. And here she is, fluent, speaking to her husband every single day in Spanish, right? And so go ahead and over this QR code that you see right here. This will give you access to our Fluency U. And those that are here in the chat, go ahead and put fluent if you're absolutely ready to get started. All right? Okay. So I want to tell you, I am so excited that you have stayed with me in this time. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much for being a part of the Fluency Friday today. I hope you felt like, wow, I can't go to sleep now because I'm going to be dreaming about Profesora Kris and Speak Spanish Easy. Okay. Like if that's you, come join the largest fluency movement worldwide where people are finally getting fluent in Spanish the easy way. And so we'll see you on the inside of Fluency U. Those that signed up, go ahead and know that you get immediate access to our Fluency U VIP. You'll get started in our next class, as well as getting a welcome email. You'll get a chance to meet me, Profesora Kris, and vamos, let's go, because you're now officially given the permission to finally show up, speak out loud, and watch yourself transform right before your eyes. So remember, I'm going to leave you with this last quote. Ready? You are not too old. You are not too busy. And you just need the right method and the right teacher. And I can't wait to see you inside. And I can't wait to hear you speaking Spanish with confidence. Muchas gracias, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed our Fluency Friday. And I can't wait to see you on the inside. All right. Adios. Gracias, Andrea. Gracias, Rodney.
Yes. Adios.
A todos. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys in the next class. Adios.